if you followed the teaching of the prophets, the Goblet of Truth, the teaching of truth of the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of the light of the truth creation, then you would learn from all good things of truth, so that you would understand what is above you and with you and what is below your feet. However, you are people, human beings, who only adhere to carry on the terrible path of idleness, laziness, in your hands, thoughts, and in your inner world consciousness. Therefore you do not become aware, feel, what true terribleness is in you and what you do. It has been announced to you that if you do not listen to the truth and do not do what the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of the light of the truth creation states is advantageous recommended for you because you do not want to hear its message, then you will also not find any protection from yourselves, because you cannot protect yourselves against your own non-right against yourselves. If you are unknowing ones in the truth and unfair ones, irresponsible ones, without virtues and non-righteous ones, conscienceless ones, then you are based on nothing that makes your existence worth living, because if you do not follow the truth that is brought to you by the Goblet of Truth, by the teaching of the prophets, then you are stepping in the darkness of your inner world consciousness, and you will stumble continuously and permanently and be unable to find the path to the light of the truth. It is certain, however, that what the Goblet of Truth, the teaching of the prophets, brings to you will make the turmoil and the unknowledge disappear from within you when you turn towards the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, and you change from unknowledgeness of the truth to knowledgeness of the truth, so that you will no longer be troubled. Truly, if you follow the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, then you will be without fear and fright, and without too great sorrow when you are oppressed by terrible things or even by death, because truly, the Goblet of Truth, the teaching of the prophets, reveals to you everything required necessary for you to manage your existence in all situations. Truly, true prophets come to you, but you deal with them like your forefathers and foremothers, ancestors, forebears, did, because whenever they come to you with the Goblet of Truth, the teaching of truth of the laws and recommendations of the primal wellspring of the light of the truth creation, then you do not wish to have them because your demand is not for the truth, rather for inner fulfillment of your disorderliness, vice, wantonness, addictions, urges, which are far from the truth, and you insult the true prophets as liars or even attempt to kill them, at the same time as paying homage to glorifying the false prophets and the priests and servants' hands with hell press of fabulated, invented, false godheads and tin gods, which are truthfully and without exception hazy pictures, imaginings, illusions. And you think that you will not be challenged for your deviation from the truth, but you are wrong in this, because truly you are imposing the punishment on yourselves when you are blind and deaf to the truth, and you cannot find any honorable and upright pity for yourselves. Truly, you are ones and knowing of the truth and believers in gods and tin gods if you give belief assumptions to godly religious priests and other servants of gods and servants of tin gods, and pray up to their gods and tin gods as if they were indisputable and proven truthful reality. But truly, if you place gods and tin gods and priests or other servants of gods and servants of tin gods at the side of the primal power of all life creation, then the truth of the primal power of all life creation, and its laws and recommendations will remain refused, concealed from you, as there will be a dwelling of the shadow world, hell, within you, with fire consuming you, from which you cannot liberate yourselves, because, as great malefactors deniers of truth, you do not find any upright helpers. Truly, those who pray to gods and tin gods are ones and knowing of the truth, and tin gods are not only those that are equivalent to gods, but tin gods are also cult objects that are esteemed, worshipped, deified in a godly religious way, or are used as intermediaries, facilitators, intercessors for gods and tin gods. And truly, there is no one god or tin god of the firmament's universe, and of earth's worlds, planets, who would be a creator of the firmament's universe, and of Earth's worlds planets, because the primal wellspring of all activity existence is the wellspring of reality creation alone, which animates as interwoven impulses through its creations in all firmament's universe, and on all Earth's worlds planets, in true love. Consider that if you are praying to God or to God, then you are praying to something that does not have the might to harm or benefit you, and if you pray to a person of your kind, human being, who raises himself up as a godhead or a substitute or the like, then you are praying to a deceiver and blabbermouth charlatan, who can bring you no salvation, prosperousness, well-being, liberation from terrible things, but only terrible things, exploitation and servitude, bondage. See how the true prophets explain the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life and its signs, marvels, for the best, and see how you turn away from them and therefore continuously bring about in a suggestive and forceful way all the bad and disastrous things of the world, such as battle, war, and hatred and bloody deed, murder, as well as revenge and retribution, killing and unpeace, jealousy, strife, discord and outrageousness, misdeeds, and inequity, unfairness, and also defilement, crime of all kinds, guilefulness, intrigues, lying and deception, and everything that is directed against the laws and recommendations of the primal power of all existence creation. You who hear the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life, see that you understand and follow it, so that you do not show contempt for the laws and recommendations of the creation of all things creation, and you do not perform iniquitous deeds which are infringements, just as you do not follow evil penchants, talents, and you do not fall into confusion, and also do not lead any people of your kind, fellow human beings, into confusion who are on the right path. Make sure that you do not persist in unknowledge of the truth, so that you do not curse yourselves with your own tongue when you are disobedient and commit an outrage against the laws and recommendations of the power of all powers creation. Truly, it is rightful for you to prevent one another from committing the misdeeds that you wish to commit, because verily you should not commit misdeeds, neither bloody deeds, murder, nor Gultsankt, battle, war, and neither pillage, atrocity, nor destruction. Truly, many amongst you are unfair ones, irresponsible ones, and you see to it that you take similarly equally unfair ones, irresponsible ones, for your friends, so that you may be one and the same of the same kind amongst one another, so that you can iniquitously carry out with them the non-right false deeds that you have planned in advance, thought up, thought out, hatched, and by doing so you create displeasure amongst the fair ones, responsible ones, and lay yourselves open to punishment. And if all amongst you were connected to the real truth of the laws and recommendations of creation, then you would accept the truthful teaching of the prophets and their words and signs, marvels, evidence that they reveal to you, so you would not take the false prophets as your friends with who beat you into godly religious servitude, bondage, because you are disobedient to the truthful teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life,